Hi everyone and welcome to Llamaste Family Yoga Center. I'm Bill, your teacher, and I'm going to take you through a brief sequence which is great especially for your legs and shoulders and lower back. This is great to do before you practice, especially if you're going to go into a vigorous vinyasa flow. Or it's great to do in the morning if you need to reinvigorate and stretch from the night before, regain your balance and focus. Remember, if you've had a meal, it's always great to wait at least 2 hours to allow it to digest. Begin by closing your eyes and taking full, deep belly breaths in and out. Find a comfortable position to sit in. Find a comfortable position to sit in, whether cross-legged or you can sit with your legs out. You can even lie down, or if you prefer to sit in the chair, you can. And you can even stand. Some of my students enjoy standing at the beginning of a practice. Place your hands on your knees if you're sitting. Relax your shoulder blades. Relax your neck. And breathe in and out. Always remember, in any practice, breath is the key thing. And that's actually more important than seeing how deep you can get yourself into a pose. Inhale through your nostrils. Exhale through your nostrils or lightly through your mouth. Relax your jaw. You can do this by pressing the tip of your tongue into the ridge behind above your two front teeth. This allows your tongue to naturally relax and your jaw to loosen. And you'll look younger and you'll feel great. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. And let's rotate our head and our neck. Inhaling, bring your right ear to your right shoulder, head back, left ear to your left shoulder to the center. And 2 and 3. And let's go opposite direction. Left ear to the left shoulder and back. Right ear to the right shoulder, center. Inhale, left ear to the left shoulder and back. Right ear to the right shoulder, center. Exhale. And for one more round, inhale, left ear to the left shoulder, head back. Right ear to the right shoulder. Exhale. And now let's reach your arms up and back. And now let's come into our hands and knees position. Let's do some cat-cows. Remember to make sure your knees are in alignment with your hips and your wrists are directly beneath your shoulders. Keep your elbows engaged and soft. The eyes of your elbows, this is the part where it bends, should be facing each other. And keep your fingertips spread. Never putting too much pressure on your pinky. Inhale, arch your lower back, bring your shoulders back. Gaze up, your tailbone up, and exhale, round your lower back, gazing towards your navel. Inhale, arching into a cow. Bring your shoulders back, gazing up, your tailbone up, and exhale, tucking your tailbone, gazing towards your belly. Have one more round. Inhale, and exhale. And now let's bring our knees to the edges of the mat. And bring your sit bones down into your heels, extending your arms out into a child's pose. Remember, the further out your knees can extend, the lower your butt can go towards your heels. You can rest your forehead directly on the mat. You can place a blanket underneath if you want, or just stack your hands underneath your forehead and place your forehead on your hands. The child's pose in inversion. It's great for allowing the blood flow to circulate to your brain and then back down to your organs. It's also a resting pose. You can, anytime during your practice, you can go back into your child's pose if you need to take a break. Let's come back onto our hands and knees. And now inhale for a deep breath. And exhale, send your right leg out and back, and your left arm out in front. With your hand perpendicular, your fingers stacked straight up and down. Inhale, inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring your left elbow in to your knee, your right knee, and exhale, extending everything out. Inhale, reach your left arm to the side and to the back. And exhale, bend your right knee, bring your ankle into your left hand. Inhale, allow your shoulders to come up, arching your back, using your elbow to pull your ankle towards the back of your head, and using your ankle with the same force to pull your shoulder back. This is a great shoulder stretch. Allow your arm to come straight, but relax your elbow. Bring your head back. Notice the stretch in your right side oblique and your right side hip. Your psoas muscles. Your hip flexor, inhale and exhale. Inhale for one more deep breath. Exhale, bring everything back down. And move your hips around, releasing any tension. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. Inhale, reach your right arm out in front. Your fingers point straight ahead. And reach your left leg back. Bring your toes back. And exhale. Inhale. Bring your right elbow to your left knee. And exhale. Inhale, reach your right arm out to the side. Bend your left knee. And reach your right arm back, grabbing your left ankle. And exhale. Use your elbow, the force of your elbow to pull your ankle towards your head. And use your ankle to pull your shoulder back. Notice a nice shoulder stretch. Also notice the stretch in your oblique muscles and your quads and your psoas muscles. Inhale and exhale. Allow your neck to come back, chest come up. Inhale, exhale. And for one more deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Bring everything down to the mat and shake everything out. Separate your knees once again and come down into a child's pose. Taking a few deep breaths. Let's come down to your hands and knees. And let's inhale for a deep breath. And exhale, tuck your toes into the mat, lift your knees up and your hip bones up and back into a downward facing dog. Pedal your knees up and down, sending flexibility to your hips, noticing how your lower back feels. Engage your core muscles and rotate your shoulders away from your ears. Never put your elbows like this, instead, rotate them towards the back of the room. This allows you to come into a natural, straight motion. And straight stance in your downward facing dog. Press the heels of your palms back. You can bend your knees slightly. Always keep your knees engaged, never locking them. And relax your neck, gazing towards your knees. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. For one more round of breath, inhale and exhale. Let's come forward into a high plank pose. This is the same pose as if you would be doing a push-up. Notice your back is straight and long. Allow your neck to come into a neutral position. Your fingertips to spread. Inhale for a deep breath and exhale. Returning to a downward facing dog. You can also go into a child's pose if you prefer. And then allow yourself to come back up into a downward facing dog. Another great variation, which I'm going to show you for a second, is if you're doing a child's pose, you can come into a half plank instead. That's you'll bring your body forward, but keep your knees on the mat. And believe it or not, you'll actually get the same benefits. Child's pose and a half plank. So I'm going to go back into a downward facing dog. And we'll do some downward facing dogs planks or child pose planks. From your downward facing dog, inhale into your high plank. And exhale into a downward facing dog. And one more time, inhale and exhale. Inhale and bring your knees, chest and chin to the mat. And exhale, bring your shoulders up, your chest forward and back, pressing the tops of your feet onto the mat into a baby cobra pose. You can also do a sphinx pose if you don't want to put as much pressure on your lower back. Yogi's choice. The great thing about yoga is that the more you do it, the more you learn about your body and what's best for your body. Inhale and exhale. Inhale using the muscles of your lower back to raise yourself up. Exhale. Inhale, come up on your hands and knees. And exhale into a downward facing dog. And we're going to do that sequence one more time. Inhale, come forward into a high plank. Coming onto your toes. Allow your heels to come towards the ceiling. And exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Inhale into a baby cobra or sphinx. And exhale onto your hands and knees or straight into a downward facing dog. Bring both knees down onto the mat. And then step your right foot forward into a kneeling lunge. You can have your knee directly above your ankle, or you can allow your knee to come forward. So it's at the exact midpoint between your ankle and your toes. Notice how your back knee is. Allow your knee to come a little up, back. Press the top of your foot into the mat and bring your hands to your heart center in prayer. Inhale, reach your arms up and back, interlacing your index fingers and your thumbs, or you can separate your hands, your palms facing each other. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart center, once again in prayer. And let's do a right side twist, interlocking your left elbow onto your right thigh, your forearms perpendicular to the mat, and gazing just over the tips of your middle finger. Inhale, and with each exhale, deepen your twist. If you're feeling up to it, you can lift your left knee off the mat. Remember when you do that to do the same thing when we do the other side. Inhale, exhale, deepen the twist. And for one more round of breath, inhale, exhale, and return to the mat. Reaching your arms up over your head, inhale, and exhale. Send your right leg out in front into a half split pose. Remember, you don't have to do a full split or come without ballerinas. We're yogis. Bring your shoulders back, up, inhale, and exhale, reaching around your right heel. Relax your neck, bring your nose towards your knees. Inhale and exhale, deepening with each exhale. Remember, when you inhale, your body is filling, so that's naturally going to cause your body to come up. When you exhale, your body is going to empty and naturally allow your body to come forward. Inhale, exhale, and for one deep breath, inhale and exhale. Allow yourself to come up, bend your knee. You can use a hand to bring your leg in because you want to stay balanced. And come back into a hands and knees position. Inhale for a deep breath, and exhale into your downward facing dog. Inhale, bring both knees to the mat, coming onto your hands and knees. And exhale, bring your left foot forward in front, coming into a kneeling lunge. You bring your knee a little bit in front of your ankle, but always behind your toes. And bring your hands to your heart center in prayer. Remember that your knee should always never come in front of your toes. That should always be here. You should feel natural. And allow your right thigh to be engaged, your hips to be squared. And you can tuck your toes or rest the top of your foot onto the mat. Inhale, reach your hands up over your head, a shoulder stretch. Interlacing your thumb and index fingers so you can keep them separate.
And exhale, bring your hands to your chest and turn, twist over to your left side. Inhale, the slight release, and exhale, deepening your twist. If you've lifted your knee off the mat on one side, please do so on the other side. We want to keep both sides balanced. Continue to breathe as you inhale, releasing, and as you exhale, deepening your twist.
Lower back down and reach up to the sky. Inhale and exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. And now send your left leg out in front. You use your hand to guide you into the half split. Inhale, bring your shoulders back, looking up, and exhale, hinging your hips, walking your fingertips. If it's too much for you, you can rest your hand on here. Maybe you don't have to come all the way down. You don't have to send your leg all the way down. We're not ballerinas, we're yogis. And there's always different variations in yoga where your body gets equally nourished. Yoga is a learning process. It's a journey. Inhale and exhale. Bring your nose towards your knees. Inhale, exhale. Notice a stretch in your lower back. Relax your shoulders. Inhale for one more deep breath and exhale. Bend your left knee back in, returning to your hands and knees. Inhale for a deep breath and exhale. Tucking your toes in, sending your sit bones up and back into a downward facing dog. Let's hang out here for a few breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. You can keep a slight bend in the knees. Plant the balls of your feet down. Your toes should be relaxed. And allow your heels to grind towards the mat. They don't necessarily have to be on the mat. Towards the mat. And always remember to rotate your shoulders away from your ears, allowing your back to grow naturally long, relaxing your neck, gazing towards your knees. Inhale for a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now for one more deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Bring both knees down to the mat, coming into the hands and knees. And now send your right foot forward again, coming into a kneeling lunge, keeping both your fingertips on the mat. And now exhale, swing your left foot forward to meet your right foot, coming into a forward fold. Reach your arms up and back, interlacing your fingertips, extending your shoulders. You can bring your arms up halfway or all the way. Notice the more you bring your hands up, the more you extend your shoulders, the deeper you bend. Guide your nose towards your knees. Keep your feet together or slightly apart. Always keep a slight bend in your knee. This allows you to have that bounce that you need. And you want to keep your knees safe because your knees do a lot for you. Inhale. Exhale. Deepen your bend. Inhale and exhale. Release both arms. Bring them down, reaching your fingers to your toes. And now bend your elbows, cupping each elbow in the opposite hand. Lengthen your back. Allow the crown of your head to hover just above your forearms. And shake your head yes and no, and from side to side. Release both arms. Touching your toes is a great variation. If you have the flexibility to place your fingertips underneath your toes. Or you can place them on your ankles if you don't allow that flexibility yet. And relax your shoulders, relax your back. Notice that nice stretch in your back. And now we're slowly going to come back up one vertebrae at a time, starting from our lumbar spine, that's our lower spine, upper to our thoracic, and to our neck, keeping our neck down, or radial spine till very last. Allow your shoulder blades to come up and back, and your palms out. Use this as a warm-up to begin your practice. Again, this is great for of Llamaste power flow, or you can seal your practice right here if you need to begin your day or get back to work. In any event, you should feel nice and flexible, and if you're trying to lose weight, this is a great way to lose weight if you do this every day for a short amount of time. Thank you for practicing. Bring your hands to your chest if you're done, your heart center. Thumbs to your forehead and back to your heart center. Namaste.